And with that, we welcome you to this final home game for the Mount Hood Saints softball season as they take on the Centralia Trailblazers. Once again, Jackson Hanley, good to be back with you, along with my best cameraman in the business, Mr. Janice Wilson. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, Jackson. I'm glad to be back.
Missed your last game, so if any of you were upset with any of the camera work from the last game against the Southwest Oregon Lakers, I would apologize. I do apologize, in fact, and you should have everything back to the way it's been all season with the best man back on the camera. Looking forward to this one.
I'm definitely looking forward to this one, Jackson.
Mount Hood currently stands at the number 5 seed in the postseason right now. Right now, they'd be matched up in the 5-12 matchup. They'd be taking on Southern foe Lower Columbia, who they played last Saturday, which ended, once again, we remind you, with a walk-off hit in the second game and just an emotional 12-11 win as Mariah Frederick gets that base hit to land in right field, winning that game. But that's where we stand right now. But you know what? Things can change, so we'll see how things go after today's game. Kylie Baker is going to lead things off here for the Blazers. Kylie Parsons is on the mound for the Saints. As you just heard the announcement from our wonderful public address announcer, Mr. Albert Hensley, as we are ready to go here in the final home game here in Gresham in the 2023 spring season. The first pitch is in there, strike number one. Dealing with a little bit of sun today, supposed to get up possibly to the 80s and even into the 90s this weekend as the 0-1 pitch is just a bit high and it's 1-1. So 1-1 here is the count on Baker. As Parsons is ready, she sets and delivers once again as that one is hit up out of play and foul, and it's 1-2. Saints, of course, coming off the split here at home last Tuesday against the Southwest Oregon Lakers. They did play earlier this week against Clark, getting the sweep on the road. And it being the final home game here as the 1-2 from Parsons is up high, and it's 2-2. So 2-2, the count now on Baker. As Parsons is ready, she sets, fires it, and that one is just a bit outside, and the count goes full. You heard we heard the starting lineups from PA announcer Albert Hensley. We will run them down for you when we get the chance. As now the full count pitch now on Baker from Kylie Parsons is on its way, and she lines that one just a bit foul, and the count remains at 3-2. Once again, the 3-2 pitch now to Baker. First batter here of the ball game. And that one is in there, called strike three for out number one. So Kat Tuller is batter number two now for the Blazers. As Baker strikes out looking, and there's one gone here in the top of the first. Parsons with the first pitch on the way, bunted and able to collect it, and that one cannot be handled, and she's on with a one-out single. So is Shelton. Batter number three. One on, one out here in the top of the first. Here in game number one of two we have today, as that one is lined into right, but that is foul, and it's 0-1. So after is Shelton will be Sydney Yates, followed by Haley Vogley. And 0-1 now. Here is the count on Shelton. As Parsons ready. Sets and delivers once again, as that one is a bit upstairs, and the count is 1-1. One and one pitch now to Shelton. And that one is upstairs, and the throw to second is not in time as she slides in there safely for the stolen base. Nice execution there by Mount Hood. Unfortunately, was just a tad late. As now the Blazers get a runner on second, and that is Toller. With a 2-1 pitch upcoming now to Shelton. And she swings that one right to Parsons. Throw to Gary at first for out number 2. But the runner now advances to third, but there's 2 away here in the top of the first. Little bit of a mess up there by Albert Hensley. Just kidding. You know, we love our public address announcer. He's been with us since the basketball season. Sydney Yates is the next batter here for the Blazers. 2 outs here, top 1. But Toller is on third as the first pitch from Parsons is in there for strike number 1. Oh and 1 now the count here on Yates as she lines that one down the line, but foul, and it's 0-2. So 0-2 now the count on Sydney Yates with 2 gone here in the top half of the first inning of the first game of the last game here this season, as that one is just a bit outside, and it's 1-2. A little bit of shift in the outfield as Kosmicki plays closer to right field. 1-2 the count here on Yates. And the pitch from Parsons is just outside, and it's 2-2. Parsons ready. And the 2-2. Swing and a foul, so it remains 2-2. So 2-2 remains the count here on Yates. And time is called by the umpire. Two and two once again to Yates. And that one is in there. Called strike 3. And that will retire the side here in the first. We go to the bottom half. Still scoreless here in Gresham as the Saints come to bat. And it will be Mackenzie Cosmicosaurus to lead things off. I was told to call her that because of the dinosaur she had showed during the last broadcast. So she leads off, swing and a miss, 0-1. So 0-1 here, the count on Cosmicky, also known as Cosmicosaurus, as that one is down low, and it's 1-1. One and one the count. The pitch down low, and it's 2-1. Two on one now. And the pitch is dribbled into the field, base hit. And it's a leadoff single to start things here in the bottom half of the first. Now it's Matt and Leach. After Leach will be Lexi Gary, then Brenna Wilson, Marley Johnson, Gracie Hodgson, Cameron Rollison, Kayla Richmond, and Leslie Main to round out the 9 for Mount Hood. As first pitch now is just bit down low, and it's 1-0. So 1-0 the count here on Matlin Leach. And the pitch is just outside, but in there for a called strike. Is got a late call there from the umpire. It's 1-1. One and one the count. The pitch on its way as that one is down low. It's 2 balls and a strike. Kenzie stays on first. Zoe Miller is on the mound for the Blazers. As she delivers a 2-1, dribbled right to her. She mishandled it, and she makes no throw. And now the Saints aboard with 2 runners. That brings up Lexi Gary. And I would assume that is going to be charged as an error. But now the Saints have runners on first and second with nobody out, as that brings up big hitter Lexi Gary. As the first pitch to her is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. So 0-1 now the count on Lexi Gary as that pitch is down low, 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one the count as that one is up high. And it's 2-1. Lexi Gary and a 2-1. Swing and a ball up high, and that one is foul, and it's 2-2. So it was chasing towards right field, but it stays on the opposite side of the fence. 2-2 there with a foul. The count on Lexi Gary. 2-2 the count. And the pitch down low, and the count is full. Full count on Lexigary. The pitch. Swinging ball right back to shortstop. No further play, one down. So Brenna Wilson with one out here and two base runners for the Saints here in the bottom half of the first inning of game number 1. Still scoreless so far between the Blazers and the Saints. Saints, of course, defeated these Blazers back in Centralia a little while ago. But one out here, bottom 1, as Brenna Wilson gets her first pitch and lines out one to the pitcher. Throw to first is in time, 2 down. So now that brings up Marley Johnson. So the Saints started off pretty good with 2 base runners, but already 2 straight outs for the Blazers. 2 on, 2 out, second and third, though. The Saints try to crack open the scoring here in the bottom half of this first inning. So Marley Johnson, batter number 5 for the Saints, as she gets her first pitch down low, and it's 1-0. So 1-0 the count here on Johnson. And the pitch on its way is lifted into right, base hit, driving home a couple of runs, and it's an RBI single for Marley Johnson. And the Saints have the early 2-0 lead. So Gracie Hodgson with 2 down, but the Saints getting the first 2 here in the first as they take an early 2-0 lead over the Blazers here in game number 1 on a 2 RBI single for Marley Johnson. Kosmicki and Leach are the 2 to run in and score, as now Hodgson lifts one up and back, and it's 0-1. It's now 0-1 here, the count on Gracie. And the pitch on its way is lifted foul, and it's 0-2. Only one base runner, as Marley Johnson will stay at first. 1 on, 2 outs, but the Saints have already struck. It's 2-0 here in the bottom of the first in game number 1 of 2 we have for you on this Friday afternoon on sophomore day. Gracie Hodgson, a 1-2 pitch. Lifted up towards center, and making the catch in center field for out number 3 is center fielder for the Blazers, Kylie Baker. And we go to the top of the second, but the Saints getting 2 on the board early for an early 2-0 lead. Here is Haley Vogley to lead things off here in the top of the second. In an early 2-0 deficit for the Blazers after the Saints striking first in the bottom half of the first as the first pitch from Parsons on its way. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Next pitch on its way is just a bit outside, and it's 1-1. One and one now the count on Vogley, and the pitch from Parsons on its way as that one is in there for a called strike, and it's 1-2. So 1-2 the count here in the top of the second, and an early 2-0 lead for the Saints is up high, and it's 2-2. Two and two now the count on Vogley. And the pitch is just down low, and the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The leadoff batter here in the second. 2-0 lead for Mount Hood. Parsons sets and delivers it. And that one is in there, called strike 3, out number 1. Ava Bush. Next on the list for the Blazers. One gone here in the top half of the second. First pitch to her. Dribble right to Leslie Main. Throw over to Lexi Gary's in time. 2 down. Zoe Miller, as you just heard, Albert Hensley. Already 2 batters, 2 outs. What seemed like what was going to be kind of a slow start to this inning has gone by pretty quick as the first pitch to her is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Oh and 1 now the count here. As Parsons sets, delivers it inside, and it's 1-1. So taking a look at the outfield here for Mount Hood. You have Parsons on the mound. I believe Richmond is catching. Lexi Gary on first. Matt Leach at second. Marley Johnson on third. Leslie Main on short. We'll get to the outfield after this pitch. As here it comes, as that one is going to be in there, called strike, and it's 1-2. Brenna Wilson in right. Kosmicki in center. And Hodgson in left. Went out of order because, to me, left and right are opposite because we're broadcasting from center field. So I went right, center, then left. But that's who is in the field for the Saints as the 1-2 swing and a miss to retire the side. So they go 1, 2, 3 in the top half of the second. We go to the bottom half of the second, and the Saints still holding on to a 2-0 lead. Real quick, I need to give a shout out to the DJ playing I Wanna Rock by Twisted Sister. Janice, my cameraman here, knows the much better version to that. What is that song called, Janice?
Oh, Goofy Goober Rock?
And what is that from?
Oh, it's from the first SpongeBob movie.
So they played that actually in the last game we were here at for Lower Columbia. I don't know if Janice remembers, he was here for that. But they did play that during that last game. But now they're playing the regular version. But the Goofy Goober version is much better. Cameron Rollison is going to lead things off here for the Saints in the bottom half of the second in a 2-0 lead as the first pitch to her is down low and the count's 1-0. You know, Janice, with it being kind of the final home game sophomore day, this is going to be kind of more of a fun broadcast, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, I definitely think so. Fun, relaxed, the last home game of the season.
Early 2-0 lead. I mean, this team really looks like a tournament team.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I have high expectations for the Mount Hood team this year.
They currently stand at the number 5 spot, only behind the top 4, as that pitch was just a bit out, and it's 1-1. Top 4, of course, Bellevue, Southwest Oregon, Northern Idaho, and Clackamas. Mount Hood is number 5, right behind those 4, and I mean, those are teams that they play well, as that pitch was down low, and the count's 2-1. So I talked to a couple of players earlier this week. A lot of them said they want a rematch with either Bellevue or Southwest Oregon. And those are the top 2 right now. So we'll see if anything changes tournament-wise after the games today, as that pitch is a little bit low and it's 3-1. But as things stand right now, Mount Hood going into the tournament next week at Delta Park, number 5 in the 5-12 matchup against Lower Columbia. Again, things could change. We'll keep you posted as soon as we hear the final results from all the games today and where we stand for next week's tournament. 3-1 the count as that one is dribbled, and that one goes into center. It's a base hit, and Cam Rollison with a leadoff single to start the second. So here is Kayla Richmond and Leslie Main, who is on deck. Then it will be Cosmicosaurus once again, followed by Matlin Leach, Lexi Gary, Brenna Wilson, if need be, if we still don't have 3 outs by then. So Kayla Richmond, batter number 2 here in inning number 2. Cam Rollison on first, nobody gone as she bunts, and Rollison thought about stealing second. She decides to stay at first, but the count now on Kayla Richmond is 1-0. One ball, no strikes on Richmond. And the pitch on its way is bunted up high and cannot be made. It's fouled, and it's 1-1. One and one now the count here on Kayla Richmond. Nobody gone, and that one is going to be low, and the count goes to 2-1. Rollison will stay on first. No further play. Two balls and one strike, the count here on Richmond, and the pitch on its way is bunted low but foul, and it's 2-2. Two balls, two strikes, the count. And the pitch on its way is down low. And the count goes for Rollison going to second. Throw there, not in time. And she gets to second with a stolen base. So now a potential base hit here could send her home and give the Saints a 3-0 lead. The count is full here on Richmond with nobody out here in the top or in the bottom half of the second. and the Saints already holding a 2-0 lead. The pitch lifted out towards center, and catch is going to be made. Rollison going to go back to second, and nothing further. One away. And now she is going to go to third, and she gets there safely. So a little bit of a fielding error by the Blazers lets Rollison go to third. And now with only one out, another run 60 feet away as that brings up Leslie Main. So Leslie Main will round out the bottom half of the order. Then we will return to the top. Runner on third, one out. First pitch offering is down low, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. One ball, no strikes on Leslie Main, down low, 2-0. And now time is called by the umpire. As now there's going to be a meeting at the mound for the Blazers. And during this time, we'll take you through their records right here as we get them loaded up. As the Blazers come into this game 11-24. And Mount Hood coming into this game 33-7. They come off the sweep against the Clark Penguins. As now we get back to play. And the count 2 balls and no strikes on Leslie Main. So 2-0 here, the count. Bottom 2, 2-0 Saints. Pitch offering on its way is down low, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. So now here is the 3-0 pitch, as that one is in there for a called strike. It's 3-1. Southwest Airlines, now the most expensive airline that you can find. One of their planes flying over us right now. They also don't know how to check bags, but no shame to them at all, as that pitch is right down the middle and then the count goes full. And Janice, if you had to choose an airline to fly with, who would you choose?
Ooh, they all have pros and cons, to be honest.
As that pitch is down low, and Leslie Main walks. And you know what time it is, folks? It is time to go back to the top of the order. And it is time for the Cosmic Asaurus. It is Cosmic Asaurus to lead things off back at the top of the lineup. And the first offering to her up high, and it's 1-0. Timeout is called. For those of you that aren't aware with the reason why Cosmicky likes the dinosaur so much, you got to go back to our last broadcast last Tuesday with the Southwest Oregon Lakers, and if we get a chance, we can talk to her about it, and she can give the story. But it's something that we talked about last game, as that one is lifted up foul on the count 1-1. As she hits that one foul, and the count goes 1-2. My leg caught in the XLR cable there. 1-2 the count here on Cosmic Asaurus. The pitch lifted into center and caught. And a throw home, nobody going to advance. And the Cosmicosaurus flies out to center. So that brings up Matlin Leach with 2 gone here in the bottom half of the second. 2-0 Saints. Runners on the corners. As that one down low. And the count goes to 1-0. One ball, no strikes here on Matlin Leach as she lifts that one out towards center. It's back towards the wall. It hits the wall. Coming in to score and going to third now is Maine, and it's a 2-out double, and it's 3-0 Saints. So that brings up Lexi Gary. So a 2-out RBI double for Matlin Leach extends the Saints lead. 3-0 here in the bottom half of the second. As that brings up Lexi Gary once again. She lined out to the shortstop in inning number 1. Let's see if she can redeem herself here in inning number 2. And the first pitch offering to her is lifted up high into right and back to make the catch. And that will do it for inning number 2. Saints get one more as they go to the top half of the third. We are done with 2 here in game 1 in Gresham. 3-0 in favor of Saints. Taylor Shelton will lead things off here for the Blazers. Top half of the third. And a 3-0 lead here for Mount Hood in game number 1 of our final doubleheader here on the softball field here on campus. As what a season it's been, huh, Janice?
Oh, yeah, it's been a great season.
Had him for all but one game. So first pitch offering now from Kylie Parsons. On its way as swing and miss. 0-1. Janice, I have to ask you right now, what has been more fun to work the camera for, basketball or softball?
Ooh, I mean, basketball is definitely easier to film, but I kind of like them both equally. They're both really good.
Do you prefer being in the gym or out here in the nature and elements?
As much as I love being out here in nature, it's really hot out here, so
And Janice is wearing pants and long sleeve shirt just to protect himself from the sun. I did offer him some sunscreen though, so we do have some where you can be protected. As that one is dribbled into center field, and it's a leadoff single here for Shelton to lead off the third. So Paige Bryant, final batter in the order for the Blazers. Then we will return to the top with a leadoff runner aboard on first. Nobody out here in the top of the third, and a 3-0 Mount Hood lead. Pitch on its way from Parsons is down the middle and in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. I mean, with basketball, Janice, you get kind of more faster pace. This, you wait in between each pitch. Basketball back and forth with the exception of the timeouts. But I mean, they're both really fun sports. So here is the next pitch offering from Parsons, bunted down the line but foul, and it's 0-2. But both sports just super fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
0-2 here, the count now on Bryant with a runner on first and nobody out. And the pitch. Bunted down the line. It is foul. And everyone heads back. So Kylie Baker, as we return to the top of the lineup, as Bryant did in fact strike out with that foul bunt on strike 2. So there is one out here, top of the third, 3-0 Saints, as she will go, and that one is in there for a call strike back to first, and that one's not in time. So 0-1 here, the count on Baker. As on deck is Kat Toller. Then is Shelton. But the Saints got one out here in the top half of the third, leading it 3-0 here in game number 1. Trying to stay at that 5 seed in the tournament, as that one's in there for a strike. 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. As that one is just a bit outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. One, two. The pitch. Swing and the ball lifted out of play. Foul. And it remains 1-2. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Parsons ready. The set. And now time. As that one is just a bit up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and two the count. The pitch. Swinging the ball fair. Parsons, no throw. And now the Blazers with 2 on with 1 out. Kat Tuller. Runners on first and second with only 1 away as the Blazers try to dip into this 3-0 deficit that they now face after the Saints got an early 2 in the first, added an extra in the second. And so far here in the top half of the third, Centralia looking good here with 2 runners on with only 1 out. First pitch on his way to Toller is bunted down. Lexi Carey right there. Throwback to first is in time. Double play. What speed from Lexi Carey to make the catch as she throws it back to first with ease. And they get the double pickoff to end the top half of the third. Brenna Wilson will be leading things off here in the bottom half of the third inning. Saints thought they were in a little bit of trouble there with runners on first and second for the Blazers with only one out, but that little pop-up and good speed from Lexi Gary there to make the catch, and she just turns around, and she doesn't even, like, I don't even know if it's going through her mind if there's somebody there back at first. It didn't really even seem, Janice, that she was thinking there was going to be somebody back there. She just turned around and threw that ball.
I mean, Lexi's a good player, anyways. So I mean, I had no doubt she would do something like that.
So here's Brenna Wilson to lead things off here for the Saints, leading 3-0 here in the bottom half of the third, here in game number one of this two-game home set with the Centralia Trailblazers in the final home game for the Saints this year. Again, coming off the championship run in the fall, looking to get back into the tournament. They stand at number 5. As that first pitch was in there for a strike, it's 0-1 here on Wilson. And the pitch on its way as that one fouled back. It's 0-2. I was here on Tuesday watching them practice. Not once did I see a play like that, but I mean, that's definitely a play you would see in practice. And it was executed flawlessly to get that double play. So Saints get out of a big jam in the top half of the third, leading at 3-0 as the 0-2 is up high. It's 1-2 now on Brenna Wilson. One and two the count on Brenna Wilson. Swing and the ball lifted deep, but that one is foul. So it remains 1-2 as it hits the bottom half of the fence on that right side. Would not have been playable as it was down low and stays foul. Still 1-2. Saints 3, Blazers nothing. Bottom 3, nobody gone. Leadoff batter here for the Saints is Brenna Wilson, as that one is down low and the count 2-2. Two and two the count here on Wilson as she lifts that one into left. Base hit, and she's aboard with a leadoff single to start the bottom of the third. That brings up Marley Johnson. And Marley Johnson, who you usually not see in a game one lineup. You usually see Sarah Martin at this point. But the Saints decide to go with a little bit of a change in the lineup. So Marley Johnson, batter number 5, as she gets her first pitch down low, and it's 1-0. Not saying that any of these players are better than anybody else specifically, just Coach Hendrickson going with a little bit of a difference in the lineup today. And Janice, I would assume the main reason with that is she's including all the sophomores because it's their final game. As Marley Johnson hits one up high, as going to make the catch there for out number 1. As Marley Johnson pops it up. I couldn't tell who made the catch. I believe it was the second base player. So that is Gracie Hodgson now coming to the plate. And indeed it was the second base player who made the catch. And as that will now bring up Gracie Hodgson, who back at her first at bat flew out to center field. And that was back in the second. We'll see what she can do here in the third as she gets her first pitch and lifts it into left. And that one is fair. Called a fair ball as Brenna Wilson rounds second. She's going to stay there. Now the Saints have runners on first and second with only one gone here in the third. So now here is Cameron Rollison. So here's Cam Rollison with one out, swing and a miss, 0-1. First and second, one out, bottom three, 3-0 in favor of the Saints here in game number one. The pitch is just a bit outside, and it's 1-1. One ball, one strike, one out here to Rollison. And that one is fouled back, 1-2. And I believe the sun has officially kind of made its peak for the day, being kind of right above us. So it should only be getting better from here as it starts to move a little bit further west and setting close to about 7:30, but we will be long done by then with game times that started earlier. 1-2 as that one is lifted out of play, foul, and it remains 1-2 as that one almost hits the roof of the shed, but the branch on the tree says otherwise. And there's a fan there in a white shirt that makes his way over to grab that ball as he makes his way back over to the Centralia dugout to hand it back to somebody as he tosses it to a player. So 1-2 the count, as that one is pretty much the same as it goes foul, and it remains 1-2. And I don't know if that dude in the white shirt was paying attention, but there's another ball. As now the Centralia player is making her way over to go get that ball. So the count remains 1-2 on Cameron Rollison. There's still one out, and there are still runners on first and second. The pitch is up high, 2-2. 2-2 here, the count on Rollison. The pitch. Swinging a ball lifted deep. This one's back, not very deep, and that one is caught for out number 2 as Wilson will make her way to third, and no further play as Rollison was just about, I would say, 5 feet short from hitting that one over the fence, but the catch is made by center field, and there's 2 away here in the third. So that brings up Kayla Richmond. Runners on the corners for the Saints, as you got Brenna Wilson on third. And Gracie Hodgson stays on first. First pitch on its way to Richmond is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. That pitch a little bit outside, and it's 1-1. One and one the count here on Richmond as that one is in there, called strike, 1-2. Next pitch now to Richmond is upstairs as that one goes to 2-2. Attention, Lucas Anderson, if you are tuned into this live stream right now, I'm only going to do this once today, and I'm going to do it right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuces are wild. Please don't sue me. As that one hit deep, that one's back, and it is gone. And how about that? I believe it's a 3-run home run for Kayla Richmond. It extends the Saints' lead to 6-0. There were 2 runners on, so I believe it's technically a 3-run home run for Kayla Richmond as she gets the first one over the fence and to extend the Saints lead 6-0 here in the bottom of the third. First pitch out of Leslie Main is down low, and the count's 1-0. And Janice is on his way over to get that ball. Want to know the count here on Leslie Main as that one is up high, and it's 1-1. Or 2-0. Official softball of the NWAC is what it says here. Baden. Shout out to Baden. They make a lot of softballs and baseballs. 2-0 count on Leslie Main as that one is in there for a called strike. It's 2-1. As you can see right here, we still have it. So kind of blurred the camera for a second. Sorry about that. We'll probably toss it into somebody when the Saints take the field, as that one is in there for a called strike, and it's 2-2. Lucas, I said it last time. I'm not going to say it again. There's just 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs, but I'm not going to say anything more. 2-2 the count here on Leslie Main with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third, as that one is just a bit outside and the count goes full. Three and 2 pitch. And that one drilled into center, base hit. And Leslie Main gets with a 2-out single. And you know what time it is, people. We go back to the top of the lineup. And it's gotten hot, so it's a bit squishy now, but it's still effective. It is time for the Cosmicosaurus. And now we have an official timeout. And not sure what they're doing. I think they're making a change. I believe it's going to be a pitching change, as nobody seems to be on the mound. And I do believe they are going to make a change at pitching for Centralia. We'll wait to receive word from Albert Hensley. I believe the umpire is still receiving word from head coach. Peyton Pocklington is the head coach for the Blazers. Her assistant coach is Christina Rainey. So I believe now we have a new pitcher for the Blazers on the mound. And we'll get a name for you as soon as we hear it from Albert Hensley. It is number 15, and I believe I might have that on my sheet. So if my sheet is correct, pitching now, I don't have number 15. They were different numbers than what I have them written down for. And Janice, this is what happens when you don't go over and get the lineups before the game. So it is Shelton. So Taylor Shelton is the new pitcher. I have her as number 26 on my sheet. I don't know why, but she's wearing number 15 today. Cosmicosaurus still waiting for her first pitch here in the bottom half of the third. Saints leading at 6-0. Led by a 3-run shot by Kayla Richmond. As now I believe we can finally get back into play. Cosmicki 1 for 2 with a base hit and a fly out to center field. What will she do on attempt number 3 here in the third? First pitch to her up high, ball 1. That one a bit upstairs as well. 2 balls, no strikes. The count now on Cosmicosaurus. 2-0. The pitch. And that one in there for a called strike. It's 2-1. Next pitch on its way. Cosmicky lifts that one up high. It is deep, and it's foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Next pitch offering to Cosmicky is in there. Called strike 3 for out number 3. So we go to the 4th, but not before Kayla Richmond extends the Saints lead with a 3-run shot. End of 3 here in Gresham. Saints 6, Blazers 0. Is Shelton will be leading things off here for the Blazers. Top half of the 4th, down 6-0. Little bit of a bobble there by Lexi Gary, but she's able to make the catch. 1 down. So nice throw there to lead off the top half of the 4th as Marley Johnson gets it over to Lexi Gary in time on the very first pitch of inning number 4. So here is Sydney Yates as she hits that one right to, and Lexi Gary again reaching out to make the catch. 2 down. I believe it was Matt Little Leach that made the catch, or made the throw. As now that brings up Haley Vogley. 2 pitches, 2 outs already here in the 4th. Not sure if there's a record for quickest inning, half inning, but we're already on the 3rd batter with 2 outs as that first pitch from Parsons is in there for a called strike. It's 0-1. Next pitch off right now to Vogley from Parsons is on its way as that one swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Only 4 pitches so far from Parsons here in this 4th. 2 outs and an 0-2 hole. We'll see if they can get through this inning in just 5 pitches. The 0-2 pitch. And that one just a bit outside. It will take more than 5. 1-2. Saints leading at 6-0. Here in game number 1 of this 2-game last home set. Still more softball coming your way, though, with the tournament next weekend out at Delta Park. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and time is called. Janice, you've seen a couple of teams come through this field. Who would you most like to see a matchup with in the tournament?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go with number 1 and 2 in the state right now.
So pretty much the same as everyone I asked. Bellevue and SWAC, as that one is just a bit low, and the count goes 2-2. Bellevue, once again, the number 1 team right now. Southwest Oregon, number 2. Those two kind of flip-flop, but the number 3, Northern Idaho, number 4, Clackamas, who Mount Hood actually went 3-1 against this season. As now the 2-2 from Parsons on its way is inside, but call for strike 3. And that'll retire the side. 1, 2, 3 in just 8 pitches. We go to the bottom of the 4th and a 6-0 lead for Mount Hood. Yes, we do want some Matt and the Leach. Albert, we want to see her hit a big one. Just trying to have a little bit of humor with our lovely and wonderful public address announcer, Albert Hensley. We love him. Matt and the Leach to lead things off here for the Saints here in the bottom of the 4th, leading it at 6-0. First pitch on its way is that one lifted into right at the wall, and it's to the wall. Leach is rounding second. She's going to go for third, and she's in with a leadoff triple. And that officially gives her the number 1 title in leading the NWAC conference in triples. Congratulations to Matt and Leach. As that brings up Lexi Gary. Lexi Gary's first pitch drilled right to second base, throw to first in time, back home. It is not in time. And an RBI sacrifice as Lexi Gary gets out at first, but she drives in Matt and the Leach, and it's a 7-0 Saints lead. As that brings up Brenna Wilson. First pitch to Wilson is lined. It is fair as she rounds first, going to second. She rounds second. She's going to stay there. Good little stretch here for the Saints here, leading at 7-0, but another runner as Brenna Wilson gets to second. And now here is Marley Johnson. And Janice, if the Saints get one more run here, go up 8-0. If they get 1, 2, 3 in the 5th, that's it. That's it for game number 1, because I believe they have an 8-run mercy. So Marley Johnson with only 1 out here drives that one up, and that one is dropping, and that one is not going to be played. So runners on first and second now. As now that brings up Gracie Hodgson with Brenna Wilson still standing on second, Marley Johnson on first, and only 1 out, as now we have a meeting at the mound for the Blazers. So here, once again, is Gracie Hodgson with runners on first and second with only one out, as she will bunt that one foul. Runners need to go back. We did see Marley Johnson hit a home run earlier this season in the first game we were here with the 27-1 win over Grays Harbor. As the next pitch to Johnson lifted up but out of play, as that one goes over the Saints dugout, and the count now goes to 0-2. My skin turning a little bit white. I think it's my sunscreen kind of leaking out a little bit, but at least I'm protected from the sun. 0-2 the count here on Marley Johnson, as that one is a little bit outside, and the count goes to 1-2. Oh, 1-2, or 1-2, as that one is downstairs, and it's 2-2. You know what I need? I need my little ball strike indicator, so I don't have to keep turning around the scoreboard, because sometimes I can't really tell what the count is, because some of the LED lights on the scoreboard are burnt out. So what maybe looks like a 2 is actually a 3. I don't know. As that, she dribbles that one, and the throw over to first is in time, but she tripped. Hopefully she's okay, but she trips over first base. Hopefully you're okay. Hopefully you're okay, Gracie. Sorry, I laughed, but she does seem to be running back towards the dugout, but she took a tumble over first base. But there are 2 away here in the 4th. But she does advance the runners to second and third. So here's Kylie Parsons taking over for Cameron Rollison. Saints leading it 7-0 here in game number 1. 2 outs, but runners on second and third. First pitch off Rain, and that one is just a bit low, and that one is ball 1. Here is Parsons once again with a 1-0 count. And the pitch is up high, 2 balls and no strikes. Two balls, no strikes, the count here on Parsons. The pitch is lifted into the field, into right, running home, throw there, not in time. 2 RBI single on 2 outs for Parsons, and it's a 9-0 Saints lead. So Kayla Richmond with a 9-0 lead for the Saints. Bottom half of the 4th inning. As now you see a meeting between the coaches and the umpires on the plate. I think they might be changing something in the lineup. We'll get word here in just a moment. So after the short delay, it's still Kayla Richmond to take the plate here for the Saints. holding on to a 9-0 lead. The first pitch on its way, lifted up deep into center. This one's back towards the wall, but it's not going to get there. It is going to be caught, and that will do it for inning number 4. But the Saints, they add a couple of more. They get 3. We go to the 5th in a 9-0 lead for Mount Hood. Ava Bush is leading things off in the 5th as she drives that one over and foul, 0-1. Oh, 1-1 the count here on Bush. Parsons ready, and she sets and delivers it, and that one down low, but in for a called strike. It's 0-2. Oh and 2 now the count, and the pitch up high and over the helmet, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, the count on Ava Bush. Parsons ready. The pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 down. Zoe Miller with 1 gone here in the 5th, down 9-0, and down to their final 2 outs before things end in 5. First pitch on its way is dribbled to Leach. She will make the toss to Gary. 2 down. Taylor Shelton will try to keep things alive here for the Blazers. Down by 9 here in the top half of the 5th. As they trail this game 9-0, as another plane makes its way over the field. I can't really tell what airline that is. It doesn't look like any brand airline. First pitch is dribbled into the field. It's a base hit. Oh, and now it's Brenna Wilson who cannot handle it. Going to second now, and she gets in there safely. A 2-out double. So Paige Bryant with a runner on second, but 2 down. Trying to keep this game alive for the Blazers, trying not to get shut out here in game number 1, down 9-0 with 2 outs here in the top half of the 5th. Parsons sets and is ready, and she fires it, and that one is fouled back. It's 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, top 5, 9-0 in favor of the Saints. Parsons sets, delivers, and that one is just a bit high. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one the count. Next pitch to Bryant is in there, called strike 2, and now it's 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes the count here on Bryant. Parsons, the pitch, swing and a miss, and that'll do it. The Saints win game number 1 as they take it in 5. They shut them out 9-0. We still have a second game upcoming, and the Saints look to get the sweep. And with that win, the Saints improved to 34-7 on the year. The Blazers dropped to 11-25. Thanks for tuning in to game 1. Once again, the final score, Saints 9, Centralia 0. We'll be back for game 2 in just a bit.